Everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I will call the meeting of June 17, 24 to order at 8:13, and we do have a quorum. We have 8 board members here, and Kent is on Zoom with us. So I will make a motion for the approval of the agenda. Any discussion? All in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, I will make a motion for the approval of the board meeting motions minutes of May 20th, 2024. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, Tanner and Dollar, 3 minutes to speak.
Oh, well, I didn't know I was going to be on the agenda. But-
Did you send an email?
Thank you.
Did you have some?
I don't have a new idea,
Oh,
but I would like to formally request that I get some feedback, approval for the CAP project, which I submitted on June 17th with the project outline. And if you don't have that, I'd be happy to send it to anybody. I handed it out at the last meeting. And it's very important, I think. One of the biggest reasons why this should be done is to involve the community in the demos. Today, I did a demo of a product, and I learned a lot of new information, capabilities, and I got a price quote, and we talked about all kinds of the back end, the front end, and I think that if we have a team of testers, you know, maybe even people in this room who would like to volunteer, we go through the demo, they go through it, answer all your questions, and then we check off whether or not it has the features that we want and need, compare the costs, implementation teams, I mean, just, you know, a real project. So I'd like to know if it's going to be approved and run with it, or if it's disapproved, and why. Thank you.
Sorry, I should have this. We need to do this before this. We can't do this without.
so let me retract that motion for the approval of the board meeting motions and minutes, and make a new motion for moving new business with the property management companies above the unfinished business, because that is pending on how we address the ballot item. So all in favor, or I make a motion to put property management companies above unfinished business. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, new business. I will make a motion to hire Smith Management Companies for the management of Raintree. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion to hire Smith Management Property Company signify with an aye.
No.
All opposed?
Nay.
No.
Abstain.
They got too much.
So I got,
Ask him. Is he there?
he's not on right now.
Okay, he gave me something. Yeah, I have, it's in the envelope. He wanted to be able to vote.
texted and said we were back from the same meeting. He heard the Pledge of Allegiance and then got disconnected.
It says, it's an envelope, it says Tilly.
Here, there it is, there it is.
All right, this is from Kent.
Hey, did you log back in?
Art, put me on speaker.
Oh, that's right, let me put you on speaker. Let me put you on speaker.
All right, Kent, I made a motion, it was seconded. No more discussion for the hiring of Smith Management for Raintree POA.
So is that discussed here,
I
or
was
how?
in favor of doing remote vote, yes.
Okay,
Yes to the motion.
thank you. All right, now I need all in favor that raise their hands. Said yes, raise their hands, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 altogether. All right, we got 1 abstain, 1 no, and 5 yes.
2 no. David did.
Oh, dang.
All right, sign back into Zoom if you can.
I'm right.
I'll try.
All right, any other new business other than the management company? All right, unfinished business, finalize and vote on ballot items. What do we got left to do?
Thank you, all we have is the assessment one. The first ballot item was to take the voting language from out of the covenant, refer to the bylaw. The second one was to put back to a vote again because of the condition between the covenant and the bylaw weren't in sync about whether it's a weighted vote or not. The third one was to, about the restriction of the use of lots, basically crossing Raintree boundaries without going through a proper entrance. That was good.
Could you speak up a little?
Yep. Fourth one was to change the late fee from 1% a month to 2% per month. And the sixth one was to change the road cut and building a new house bond process. So all those were already done and approved. So the lingering one is the change to the assessment, as well as the ones that changed the assessment from an annual to a monthly. So let me just read out here what this new assessment will be.
So first off, let me preface that with the new assessment, the numbers and the models and everything. Everything that was related to that in the covenants or the bylaws has been addressed, that if it was annual or monthly or wherever, we also addressed that portion in a different part of the covenant. We also talked to Dave Tucker to make sure nothing affected his settlement agreement based on what we're changing our cost to. So John is going to go into detail about that, but that's the 20,000 foot view.
All right, so this goes in line with what we shared last week at the meeting. So the new proposed covenant reads, the Raintree Plantation Property Owners Association Incorporated on July 1st, 2025, and annually thereafter shall have the right to assess the owner each lot each lot such sum as it deemed proper. Funds raised by the assessment shall be used for the improvement, betterment, upkeep, and maintenance of the development, including amenities, lakes, dams, roads, park, or other properties which are of use to the property owners in Raintree subdivisions. Said fund can also be used for the purchase of property, both real estate and personal, not personal for any of us or you, it's personal for, like, we need a truck for maintenance. And the payment of salaries and fees, and the purchasing of any sort of material, services, or any other item that trustees may deem useful for the development known as Raintree Plantation. So the new assessment, which will start July 1st of 2025. So if you have up to a total of 2 lots without a residence, it's $50 a month. You know what? This is, we didn't, we tweaked this, didn't we? We'll just make sure. This doesn't have the new, I bring my laptop with me. Give me 1 second, sorry. No,
Isn't that the one I sent, is it?
That's the one you sent.
Isn't that the right one, John? It is right here. Which one?
I think it's that one. We changed some of these around a little bit. Okay, so let me rephrase this. 1 or 2 lots without a residence and not in Raintree Forest is $50 a month.
Per lot?
Up to 2
Up to
lots.
2. 3 lots, total of 3 lots without a residence is $125 a month. 4 or more lots, basically more than 3 without a residence, $150 a month. A home up to 2 total lots with a resident, $100. Home plus 2 total lots, total of 3 with a residence is $125. Home plus 3 or more lots, more than 3 total, is $150 a month. Raintree Forest lots up to 2, $100 a month. Raintree Forest home with up to 1 additional lot, total of 2 with the residence, $150 a month. And the condos by contract are 50% of the lot price, so that's $25 a month is the new. So I need to update this with what I just read and what's been distributed on it. So to give you guys some numbers behind this, and I'll continue reading it, up to a total of 2 lots without a residence represent 1,379 of the billables. 688 are a home with up to 2 total lots. The other categories have 6 owners, 9 owners, 41, 37, 18, and 17. So 90% of the community falls within $50 a month and $100 a month with the new assessment. The definition of a lot is based on the Raintree POA original lot map that's on the wall up there. So if you combine the boundary line adjusted 2 lots together, it's still 2 lots in Raintree's one. The assessment covers all lots owned by the owner under a common name on the deed up to 8 lots. So that was a change from the original. Multiple residences in a common deed name are assessed per resident. So if anybody out here owns 3 or 4 houses, it's per house, not per deeded name for that. If you have multiples. Lots that are not held common deed name represent a separate vote and a separate assessment. The all-in assessment change will cover roads needs, lake dredging, enhanced security, no fees for stickers, Other than a new home construction, seawall, or boathouses, the bonds are fully refundable with no admin fee. And we will have improved online owner tools, such as you'll be able to submit a lot of things on your own directly through a new portal. The new revenues will be spent per the 5-year financial plan that we released last week, assuming adequate assessment payments are collected. At a minimum, $96,000 a year will be spent on lakes, $115,000 on security, $400,000 on roads. That's just the minimum, it's not the whole plan. So if you haven't signed up for it, sign up for that. Was it All In for Raintree? Facebook group's got all the documents out there. They're also out on, can we put them on our website? Yep, they're on our website. Those minimums, the actual 5-year plan is much higher than that. Roads is the single largest expense and is a result of catch-all for any fluctuation in price index, uncollected revenue, or collection costs. The POA board must spend the funds in accordance with the 5-year plan. The POA board does not have the authority to fund lakes, security, and roads at less than the minimum in any given year. The POA board does have the authority to lower the assessment from year to year, no lower, year to year, if the prior calendar year ending check balance exceeds $1 million with all known future projects completed. So that's in there to prevent the assessment from growing if it's not necessarily needed. So without a vote, we can lower it, cannot raise it without a vote. Except for these adjustments, no assessment shall be made unless it shall be approved by a majority vote of the lot owners, voting as herein set forth in the said assessment, and provided further that the level assessment levy each year shall become a lien without filing a lawsuit or legal procedure to establish a lien on a property that's not paid within 30 days. And the last piece just covers if we have to go to the collection agency or attorneys, that the owner is responsible for all of the fees associated with the collection on that front. So that is the ballot. Everything that you have board in front of you ties out to this, other than just bullet point section here. That's what I read, but we just broke this down further than what's there. There's no, the categories are, the dollar amounts are the same. We just tried to refine the categories, so hopefully it was clear.
I will make a motion to accept that ballot item. For a second.
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor of this ballot item with the 4 price models, with the Forest Edition and the condos, signify with an aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Folks, that just means the motion passes to be on the ballot. It's up to you guys to vote it in or out.
So till we now get these to the final review with the attorney, then we'll start the process of preparing the newsletter. But for the project team, for All In for Raintree, we can proceed with continuing on to make hopefully everybody aware of what's happening in life.
Cool, thank you.
All right, treasurer's report, and well, is there any other unfinished business or new business? No? Treasurer's report and presentation of bills.
All right, last month, the April financials were in a preliminary stage on it. Those are finished now and they're on the website. The only change to what was presented at the last meeting is the bank account that holds the special assessment for security went down approximately $11,000. And the P&L for the security went from about 21,000 to 11. Basically, we had an entry in there twice that had to get reconciled back out. Those are on the website. What I'm going to go through with you for this month, I'm sorry I don't have a paper report, I will finish it tomorrow. This is the first month-end close with City and Village since they went to the new system, so we just got our monthly financial packet on Saturday, and it's like 130 pages long, so I'm trying to decipher it still. But to give you a high level of so the May reports are still tagged preliminary, we'll get them wrapped up. The special assessment for security account has $19,677 in it, primary checking $227,967, the lake dredging fund $17,770, the excess checking accounts have $105,709 and $337,264 in them. The crisis fund has $291,195 in that. Our balance at city and village is 19,000 and some odd change. For the month through city and village, we collected $8,500 in assessment-related activities, and our expenses through them for the month were $2,598. That broke down to $1,625 in road construction bond refunds, $1,125 in legal fees to our attorney, $92 for city's collection fee, $687 for the beach security person, and we had some liens that were collected, so you have to release them was $594, and website maintenance $100. From that, I will get with the office and get those updated so we can finish the May financials, but that's pretty much the report I give each month. For the board members, you have in your packet the how we do against the budget, the P&L report, and review that as your time permits, and the monthly check report. Only thing that really stands out in the monthly check report is we paid the auto insurance bill, $26,347. Everything else is standard and routine.
John, the $1,200 for the sewer district, is that routine? No. Did we have a water issue?
I'd have to pull back the back reports, but I can look at it and get you an update.
Okay.
Does seem high.
It does.
I'm not aware of any water issue that was reported, so. Your pool is spring rich. All right. So I will make a motion to approve the treasurer's report and presentation of bills.
Second. Any discussion on the motion to approve the treasurer's report presentation of bills? All in favor signify with an aye. All opposed? Motion passes.
I will just like to add one thing. If you kept track of these numbers I read and think that we're sitting on $500,000 plus odd dollars, we're not sitting on $500,000 plus odd dollars. Glenn's got some security stuff that we haven't paid for yet, the new loops, plus they're working on some ability to get us back to live streaming. Kent has a bunch of things going on with the lakes that we're looking to fund. Benny's going to talk about some additional big road problems that we're going to try to address. So that money's not just sitting there accumulating. It will be spent on, where we've kind of targeted security lakes roads.
All right, thanks, John. Communications and correspondence, Tilly.
Basically, 5 emails. The one thing that I want to woo-hoo about is we're up to 1,169 subscribers, so that more people are getting online and getting the newsletter and the notices. One of the big percentages of opening up, one of the announcements was when we had traps set and we caught a beaver and we snared another one, so he's floating around somewhere or he's down in his den. So if you ever find a floating beaver and it has a trap to it, let Kent know, because we have to pay for that trap. So if you do find a floating beaver or anything, please let Kent know. We had the sand delivered, so that went well. The website updates, we're getting better with trying to be in a timely manner of all the agendas, the recording of the meetings and things like that within a 48-hour kind of window is our goal. All the board meeting agendas and the recordings are working well with our webmaster, Nikki. She does a great job with that. We've started collecting resumes for the board openings for the fall in September, and we're working on the final verbiage of the ballot items to get to Ted for his final approval. So, and one more thing, the financial reports are all up to date as of January of 2024. So you can go on the website, go under Finance Committee, and you've got all the reports there from John, from January to present. Well, not today. Okay?
I do have one thing to add to that. I seen an email that came to you that everything on the website that comes across here now is categorized. So that was done over the weekend. I
Yeah,
believe.
for the calendar and stuff like that. So if you look on the calendar, they've categorized it. So if you're looking for when the Lakes and Beach meetings are, put in Lakes and Beaches and it'll show you. So, yeah. We're working hard to try to make it more user-friendly. Thank you.
There are two unfinished motions we made this month. You gotta do
Oh.
that.
Yeah, I have the one. Okay,
Phil has.
I have, okay, we had a motion, let's see,
Two.
I'm sorry. Okay, so we had a motion on June 12th from Kent. He made a motion to proceed with the algae testing requested by Clean Flow, 7 samples monthly for up to 4 months at $230 per test, plus an overnight shipping cost for the samples. Be responsible for $308 to cover the cost of the sample bottles, preservatives, and shipping. Clean Flow requested that we do algae testing of our lakes, so he made a motion, and it was seconded by Denny, and voted yes by Tilly, Glenn, and Dave Getty.
Traps.
Oh, the traps. Oh, I don't have that one printed out. My bad.
If Starlink is any indication of how many times he's bouncing off and on, I'm worried about it.
Starlink. It's like 100 degrees and humid here. He's sitting up there in Ontario
With
with a
a jacket
sweatshirt
on.
on. Can we just,
Yeah, I see it, but I don't have the one that has on votes. Kent made a motion to be able to set the traps for the beavers and the muskrats. So
It was approved up to
25,
$500.
it was approved up to $2,500. What it was is that the guy comes out every other day and he went around looking for, let's see, right here. I found it, there it is, okay. Removal, I think I got a couple under it. An expenditure of $24.99 will require board approval, so we did that, and it would make the following motion in the event of $24.99 for varmint removal. And that's as much as we will spend. Additional funding will have to be approved if there's more varmints to be removed. It was second by Director 3, Denny, and then, yeah, a motion passed. Glenn.
That was the fastest return of investment I ever seen. If anybody wants to see a beaver call, we have a picture of it.
I'm sorry, that was my bad, I didn't have that printed out.
But no muskrats yet.
No muskrats yet, but we did 2 beavers, so.
All right, what do I have here?
Okay. Hey Wendy, I'll get that to the wording for you. The wording for that motion, I'll get that to you. Because I didn't.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You did?
Administrative.
The varmint removal one? Oh, no. The varmint. Okay. Oh, admin. Oh, geez. Oh, I'm really sort of organized. All right. The selling of stickers. Count for May, there was 212 auto, 108 boat, 50 golf cart, 55 hang tags, no jet skis, and 12 non-motorized stickers. Completing property owners on online forms, scanning property owners into Rever, reserving pavilion and campgrounds. That's always a busy time for the office. Assisting board members as needed, and assisting realtors with security access for showing their properties. That's it.
All right, thank you very much. Lakes and beaches. Kent's not here, so I'll read what he's got in his report. June 3rd, there was a Lakes and Beaches meeting. Attendance was Kent, Brian Fink, Greg Kirkpatrick, Tom Selm, and Mark Winchester. Clean Flow has provided some new quotes with shared services where Raintree residents would assist in the maintenance of equipment and application of some treatments. Mark has received 2 quotes from engineering firms regarding the erosion seen on Summer-Winter Lakes spillway and awaits a third. An evaluation would cost a minimum of $10,000 on the quotes received so far. More to follow. Brian shared a drawing of potential rinse station and will pursue quotes on land needed to provide water from the lake to the station. Concerns regarding erosion in the area between the stairs and water were voiced. Caution tape will be used to limit traffic and reduce erosion to the likely site of the rinse station. Advanced Wildlife Control will be here on June 6th to review the lakes and begin the varmint trapping process. Traps will be marked, but everyone should exercise caution when near traps to avoid injury. So I was going to make a motion tonight to make sure that we get the caution area of the beach taken care of and combine that with the rinse station process. But it sounds like Kent's already been involved, so I will stress to him when we get back to include that as one project, get it all done, get the equipment out there once and get that taken care of. But, oh, there's a back? Oh. No wake zone awareness was discussed, no decisions were made, but options for helping people recognize where wakes are restricted were discussed. The use of additional no wake buoys received mixed responses. Signage for the volleyball court and parking areas for the beach was discussed. Specific wording will need to be investigated. Reporting of boating or other infractions is encouraged, however, photo or video evidence along with any identification, sticker number, registration number, etc. is needed. Report any concerns to the Rules Committee. That is the Lakes and Beaches report. Maintenance Department.
That you will need right now.
Oh, that's right.
You want to break, Howard?
Go ahead.
Remove dump truck loads of trees and debris from small lake spillway and forest drive culverts that will wash from the woods during the heavy rainstorms. Added 7 loads of sand to the beach and spread, made repairs to mowers and vehicles as needed, reinstalled, replaced gate arms multiple times, made reports, working on vegetation control,
I don't know what that
marinating the beach.
is.
Maintaining
Yes,
the
okay.
beach, camp grounds, pavilions, and rentals and guests.
You don't own a weed company, do you? Plant the weeds, kill them, plant them again?
If anyone has any areas that they see needs attention, please fill out the work order and we'll assess what can be done.
All right. Roads.
Okay, in April, we approved the roads bid from Altoff Contracting for 6 locations needing repair and replacement. And then the storms of May hit us and it caused damage to 2 additional locations. Redwood Drive, where the road is collapsing, and a blocked culvert pipe under Peachtree Drive. So I called Altoff to get a additional bid from him to go ahead and do that since we already got a contract with them for the other work. President Dave asked us to get bids on the concrete work needed on Column Drive. Tom and I determined to do this correctly, we would need 200 feet of replacement. See attached sheets that you guys have. It shows the area of the area that we're talking about. It's from Highway B to the first driveway. Should be outlined for you. So I contacted 8 companies to do the concrete work. 3 of the companies, the phones are disconnected. These are Hillsboro, DeSoto, Blackwell, Missouri companies. There's one company that doesn't do concrete. Actually, there's 2 companies that don't do concrete. And then we had one company said that we couldn't afford what they were going to charge. So,
This is just pure success.
so I think we'll bypass them for now. So I did have one bid from West Contracting for $82,000. And I'm waiting for another bid from Spencer Contracting. And I'm hoping that comes in a little bit less. So I might only have 2 bids. If you guys want me to pursue more, I will.
Well, if you sent it out or attempted to go to, 6 or 8 of them, I think, unless anybody knows of, what about the guy that does a lot of concrete here? Does he do streets?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't do concrete.
No, not Jim.
Lifetime,
Lifetime.
lifetime.
Concrete.
Jesse Hewitt.
Jesse
Lifetime.
Hewitt.
I didn't contact him.
He, I think does he live in here?
Yep.
So he may be a better
Might be
resource
worth
too.
asking.
Yeah.
I've not known him to do roads, but,
Well, I know he's done concrete.
yeah, he does concrete.
He
that's
did
for
the
sure.
pad down there, didn't he,
Yeah.
for the food truck?
Okay, I'll get a hold of that dude. And, oh, we already got the phone number, great. Okay, there's one more thing. We received a report last week from this company that's contracted with the EPA. And so there's gonna be some more remediation here in the subdivision. They have 5 locations, 2 on West Vista, 1 on Easy Street, 1 on Ridgecrest, and 1 on Terra Lane. So they'll be coming in the next couple of months. They'll be bringing in excavators, dump trucks, tandem dump trucks, trailers, so forth. So we have more of that stuff coming up.
Let them know when you call them that we put gold in our asphalt when we redid those roads.
Yeah. Delighted with all
Thanks,
They'll
Denny.
just write the check in advance for the road damage.
All right, Desiree, rules.
We had a rules meeting that was held on Monday the 10th to discuss procedures and processing certain violations. The committee agreed that security violations, so beach parking without proper or properly affixed stickers, would not require committee review as they are accompanied with photos and violations that are clear cut. But violations that are submitted will be reviewed if the violation has not been complied with and a censure is pending. We really want to thank the committee for their participation and input, and Laura Breezy especially for giving us a really beautifully detailed committee meeting minute.
All right, thank you very much.
That's enough.
And just, oh, go
Okay, I
ahead.
have a question. Okay, so the minutes, Laura, you have them, and then, okay, and we can put it, can you just email them? Or?
Yes, I should be able to.
Just email them to me,
Yeah,
and then
I don't know
I
why
can
I
send
thought
it
that
to Nikki. Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Desiree. Glenn, security technology report.
All right, so
Been a busy man.
we did do, we updated the gate loops at the back and the front gates. And it has been effective. We can't fix stupid. Where you just drive through the gate arm. But otherwise, the tall trucks haven't been clipping them in or out, and I think that there's hope. What we do want to do is really enforce the censures on the guys that just drive right through the gate arm. So we're going to work hard on that. And then we are looking into, we're zeroing in on the live streaming options. And we recommend future casting some of these documents that we talk about. We get the 75-inch TV where everyone can see it. So we can follow along on the financial report, and follow along on all our, we're looking at.
That's the one we're getting off your deck, right?
That's it. I will, yeah, I'll put the 75 on the deck, and get the 32.
There you go.
Right. And then, last thing, it's just a reminder, when we are working on the gates, or the folks who are putting up the gate arms, just be respectful, stop, watch, wave.
Drop a beer off.
Yes.
You gotta collect it before you get your card.
All right, thanks, Glenn. ACC, of course.
Just standard, one new house, couple little projects, pretty routine.
Good deal.
I do have something to bring up. There are 2 boat slips that are being done off of West Vista Drive. And they're basically digging a hole behind the seawall and then cutting and busting up the seawall. But there's no coffer dam. And I happen to be home because they're right across the cove from me. When they were cutting that seawall and busting it out, they had an excavator digging in the lake. I didn't see any markings for the sewer lines out there. And there was a mud cloud covering 3/4 of that cove. I think you need to stop doing that. There needs to be a coffer dam because all that sawdust and all that jackhammering the seawall,
That's the one I brought up to you, Dave.
that stuff just was falling all over the lake, and then they're digging in it and pulling it, and the stuff's going all over the place. So, I get that the seawall was there, so it stops from them digging behind it, but once they started breaking that seawall out and started digging, I'm like, I don't know where the sewer line is, maybe it was fine, but I didn't see any markings of anything, and all that dust and all that junk when they were jackhammering and digging the seawall out is all falling straight into the lake, so I
And
think
they're getting
that,
ready to do the one next to it, it looks like. I don't know if you guys have approved it, but that company, whoever did it with blocks and not a poured concrete footing and foundation. At least I don't think they did a footing. I know the wall is just blocks put together. So I don't know if
I don't think we have a rule on that, he says.
really, I thought it had to be a poured continuous wall. I know the seawall does. And if you're cutting into it, it would be technically part of that. But I don't, it's, the way they cut that one, I got a complaint Sunday on it that I had to get a permit, I had to get a cofferdam, I had to do a silt fence, so I'm just bringing it up that it's probably getting ready. Well, I know you said they were digging already, right?
I mean, if it's approved, but I think you guys need to get in place to stop it, because, you know, when they cut the wall, and, you know, they're got the hammer on the excavator chipping away at it, it's like that stuff's falling into the lake. And
Do we know who that contractor is, Dave?
I'm not even, I don't have the sheet from me, I'm not even sure who the inspector is on it.
Chris, I believe.
so,
But my concern was when I went by it after I got a complaint on it, the one side of the wall, which they're all blocks around here, is level with the seawall, and the wall on this side is, looks like about 6 to 8 inches, maybe a foot higher than the rest of the seawall. So it definitely needs to be.
I called that contractor, I was with Wendy, and we talked to him. I asked him if he would send us information on what that material is made out of. And he said, I'm not gonna send any information to a bunch of stupid people.
Well, then we should put a stop.
Yeah, I put a stop work order on them, because it's not, definitely not poured, it's just blocks that fit together. And they don't look, I mean, they might be level across, but they don't match the seawall. And I think they just, the cuts are jagged, if I remember correctly.
they might have put something over it, something.
It's all in Big Lake.
Big question, since we're so stupid, do we know how to do a stop work order?
Oh, yeah.
I'm being facetious. All right, that is, I believe, everything.
Dave's committee assignments.
Oh, yeah, Dave Getty was assigned to the co-chair of rules and the co-chair of ACC, or no, roads. So he'll be working with Denny and Desiree on those committees, and then
That is the huge chair now.
hopefully we make it to the September board meeting and everybody can get new assignments. Denny is the chair of roads now. John was relieved of one. And thank you, Dave, for accepting those. And if there's nothing else, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
Forrest likes it.
All,
There's no specifics for how things are done for the seawall,
okay.
or we don't have.
I just know the seawall, they say continuous pour, right?
I think so.
No, it doesn't say that in for seawall.
Really?
Has to be a full night.
Seawall.
That's for a foundation on a house, it's explicitly clear. It's
That
gotta
one
be a
is, yeah,
continuous pour, but I don't think there's anything on the seawall.
because I've got the HCC guidelines.
I think at minimum, they need to get a cofferdam in if they're cutting through a seawall.
All right, all in favor of terminating this meeting, signify with an eye.
Aye.
All opposed, meeting's over. All right, open forum. Tanlin,
Oh, I just have 2 quick questions. Number one, how much is the Smith contract going to cost Raintree? What's the agreement?
$2,400 a month plus an employee, which we have calculated somewhere in the neighborhood of $40,000.
Okay, and of all the board members that voted in favor, how many of you participated in a demonstration of the software?
Cat did too.
Yeah, he dropped offline several times.
How many other softwares did you
It's
guys
not
see?
software, it's more of a management concept.
Okay, no, there's a front facing.
But there is.
Right, exactly, and that's what we're going to use, that's
Yeah.
what we are going to be using.
Mention this.
We have that.
Does Tanlin have a copy?
I do,
Yeah,
I
okay.
do. By the
Can
way,
someone explain it to the crowd, though?
We put together a requirements document for the management companies that we interviewed, and we did get a response from DNI that they had responded 2 years ago, and we don't have that filled in on what they have, but we knew from the previous quote that they do similar type activity. They were actually chosen 2 years ago, but they couldn't bring us on board at the time because they were integrating Innsbruck. but Smith and CPM have these requirements on here. I can read them out loud a little bit. I'll buzz through it. Online tools for board and committees, both CPM and Smith.
What are those online tools? Because one that, okay, so I'm going to cut to this chase and just say that, on the June 17th meeting, I was asked, to vet all of that and to prepare, compare tools and costs and all of that. And I just want to say that I'm very disappointed that you guys moved forward with something, and yet you had me exploring all this, and you just didn't come out and say, hey, don't worry about it, we've changed our mind, we don't need that. And now, the very tool that you were talking about here on contractor, who's doing what, as far as violation tracking, today I saw a demonstration where, right on your phone, you could have looked that up. You could have said, whenever somebody submits anything to the Architectural Review Committee, they would have the contractor's name, they would have what was approved, pictures, everything. So I'm just saying that, I really think that you guys missed an opportunity to really see lots of other products and consider costs and solutions. But I see that you've made your decision.
Well, and I think that there's crossover, Tamlin. I think a management company has tools, but we might still end up using what we're researching.
Yeah, I know. In fact, the email.
A full suite of solutions.
The email that I sent you, the same property management companies are white labeling. They're going to the companies, some of the ones that I talked to, and they're basically saying, hey, we don't want to build this ourselves. Can we put our name on it and charge that to our clients? I'm very familiar. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, it sounded like there was quite a bit of savings that was involved with this. Is there any kind of breakdown on
At the last board meeting that we had, and I think it's on the website now as well, if you get into the, it's a budget type of spreadsheet from QuickBooks, and we show in yellow and red what is a reduced cost and a deleted cost, and then what stays stagnant or static. And then at the bottom of that shows with the management company of what the different cost would be for that, and the savings are involved in that.
is that sheet available? I wasn't here last week.
It's online.
It's on
So,
my website. It's
All
on
right,
our Facebook.
it looks like they're still bidding the maintenance, or is that what's happening there?
We're gonna go with Smith Management, and unless something changes or they can't do it for some reason, which they accepted our proposal, or we've accepted their proposal, and they are willing to come on board with us.
You said
Maintenance.
I mean, management, I'm sorry.
So I was like,
He said maintenance.
He said maintenance.
This person.
Oh, the maintenance.
Just a subdivision.
So the maintenance part of it with the management companies was not part of our scope at the time, because we had been doing this for a while, and since Tom is retiring and we have some limited staff opportunities, we had started looking into outsourcing the maintenance department. So we reached out to 3 or 4 companies. We got bids back from 2 of them. One of them is going to be suggested as a maintenance company, but we want to sit down with Tom first before we make a final decision on that.
One other thing, a lot of the construction is, the roads are not in really good shape in a lot of areas, but concrete trucks running on them, they're just pumping out the corners of roads. And are they paying any kind of extra, like to build in here, or?
Well, it's kind of a tough question to answer, because yes, they do, but a lot of times when they do that, they pass that on to the homeowner that's building. So in reality, the homeowner just pays a bigger price for their house. But I think, Dave, you brought something up that makes it come straight from the builder. But it's, you build a house for $500,000 and it costs them $3,000 for road maintenance. They're just going to add that to the cost of the house. And I don't know any way around it. We've tried multiple ways, but yes, they are supposed to pay their portion of road maintenance.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard to determine how much damage is going to be done while the house is being built, or before the house is being built.
Right.
There's a ballot item with
It just seemed like there should be some percentage or something.
Yeah, there's a ballot item we talked about that's changing the dollar amount of the bond that they put down. But also, I think, correct me guys if I'm wrong, you got the inspectors now taking pictures of the roads at the new houses, boathouses, seawalls, where this big stuff's coming in before and after. And if they busted the road up, the contractor's either paying to fix it, or you're not letting them back in here again.
The flip side is that not just always in front of the house, so they
No,
come from
okay,
this
yeah,
entrance, so
yeah.
they could damage the road anywhere from
No, I get
here
it.
to the house. And there's other parts in the hills that they can.
Linda?
The All In for Rain Tree project team, the feedback that we've been getting and continue to get through the Facebook group that we've set up, which thank you for everyone who's joined that, because we're able to share a lot more information that way that you can readily see. I think people still want what I'm calling show me the money. Show me the money, kind of maybe what was asked just a moment ago, where's the savings coming from or all that thing. And you guys did a great job at that additional board meeting on June 5th. But I think we should review it again with anyone that wants to ask more detailed questions about specific line items. So, you know, we're prepared to do June town hall meetings. I tentatively set my calendar for next Monday, if one of you is available. We need someone that's gonna be able to answer the money questions, which I guess would be you, the treasurer. And what we had done as a project team is offered a weekend opportunity, because we have found that a lot of people apparently play golf around here, and there's golf leagues going. So, being that it's summer, we did find out that the Saturday meeting that we did in May, which was here in the morning, was too loud, because yay, the office was taking care of people's requests there. So we're looking at a Sunday afternoon, which is not the best either, but it would be at 3:30 in the afternoon here at the POA office, which means it's, you know, gonna be quiet. If we can get at least 30 people that say they prefer that Sunday versus the Monday that we offer, then we're willing to, you know, open it up and do it again for those that would like an alternate date. So, the dates that I'm talking about are a week from today, which would be the 24th, I believe. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, and that following Sunday, which I think is the 30th. Well, if you guys are good with that, if you're available to do it, if we get enough people that want to do it, then we'll host a town hall that's all about show me the money.
I can do Monday for sure. I cannot do the Saturday.
It's a Sunday.
Sunday.
Oh, yeah, I can't do that either.
I can't do Monday the 17th.
Yes, sir, in the back.
Today is
I
Monday,
have a
17th.
couple of questions. This management company that you're hiring, is that not something that the residents of Raintree should vote on?
We haven't in the past.
So you can just arbitrarily go out and pick somebody to run our subdivision?
Yes.
Are you planning on getting rid of the office people and all their jobs?
That's up to them. They can interview with the management company, and there's a transition period as well that they can transition what we have today into their processes, and they can also interview for those jobs.
Are you saying that there's a savings by doing all this?
Yes.
The other question is this all in for Raintree breakdown of what you're gonna charge each resident? The 6 years I've lived here, you guys have encouraged people to buy lots so that they wouldn't go back to this account. I have bought lots. I have 6 of them. So now you're gonna charge me more because I bought these lots. That is not fair. I have 6 lots, I pay my fees, I'm not a deadbeat. You encouraged me to buy them, I bought them, and now you're charging me more for them.
Everybody's assessment's
And
going
my
up to
point
pay
is,
for the
I have
amenities
6
of Raintree.
lots, and that means nothing different from anybody else in here. They drive down my street, They go to the golf course, they go to the lakes, they come up here, same as I do. All that means is I have 6 lots, I have more grass to cut. That's all it means. So this is not fair. If your breakdown here, it should be one price for all. I have one plat of land according to Jefferson County, not 6 lots of land.
Well, are you saying there are 6 lots that are joined?
Yes,
Well, then you pay $150 a month.
$150 a month.
Where, are you in the forest?
Pardon me?
Are you in the forest?
I don't understand.
But you got one lot legally, you got 6 lots legally joined into one lot,
Yes.
so my calculation is $50, right?
No.
You guys updated that.
Oh, you got a house on it as well, right, on the 6 lots?
I got a house built on 2 lots and I own 4 lots that are wooded. And the same as Jefferson County says I own 1 plat of land. Tucker even recognizes that. I have to pay 1 fee back when we were doing that. You guys say I own 6 lots and I get charged for every lot.
You do today. Today you
And
get
you
charged
guys
for each
encourage
lot.
me to buy the lots. I'm being penalized for keeping them from going to the county.
We're getting a 47% discount for each additional lot.
Pardon?
We went over the ballot item
Well,
based on,
I tried to write it down as fast as you guys were talking.
well, it's online, you can check it out there, but we went over the ballot item till literally 9 o'clock on a Monday night one night to try to break it down to what was most fair. And it's, to us, is that the people that from the town halls and the social media and the board meetings, that the person that owned 1 lot shouldn't be paying what a person that owns
The
5 or
same
6 or
person gets all the amenities that I get.
I'm just telling you, that's the feedback we got.
Yeah, but that's not fair to people that own more than 4 or 6 lots.
How many people,
And
how many people
own
are in
them?
this,
I
in
don't
this,
know.
39.
same?
I own 6 lots and 2 of them have a house on them.
And how much is your senior, 150 a month? I mean, yeah,
$1,800 a year.
there's 9 people that fall into that category.
Versus,
Or
With residents?
home with more than 3 lots, yeah, 37 people in that category.
How many?
37,
And we're gonna be charged $1,800 a year. And now I'm paying $1,051 with my new assessment.
yeah, I'm paying about 400 and it's going up to 1,000.
My point is, Dave, is I'm not getting any other benefit than anybody else in this room. The only thing different is I have more grass to cut.
Well, that's a benefit though, that's 6 lots, I only have 1.
But
And I'm not saying it's about the benefits, but everybody's assessment is going up, not just yours. And we tried to make it where everybody went up about the same amount. Obviously, the
just
people,
ask those 37 people what they think.
well, if they showed up at the town halls, we could have.
I was there.
1% of Raintree residents he's talking about.
So according to the
And
numbers,
for me to sell my house now, I have to
37.
disclose this.
2214.
Nobody's gonna want to buy my
Sorry,
house.
1%
I can't
of
break the lights back up.
And I think he has a point where he's saying that according to Jefferson County, he has 5 lots, he has 1 lot. He doesn't have 6. And so I don't know why the Raintree can say that you have property different than what is on our tax records with the county.
the reason they can
Goes
is
by
because
the map that's right up in the corner. If you
Well, I
bought
understand that,
individual
but that's a
lots, then-
Raintree map, it's not a Jefferson County map.
This isn't a Jefferson County tax, this is your Raintree assessment here, and you bought multiple lots, and today you get a 47% discount off the second one.
The board's encouraged.
I didn't encourage anybody to buy anything, I've been on the board for 2 years, so.
Heard you say, buy these lots before they go to Jefferson County.
Yes.
let me just say one thing, that you're gonna pay $1,800 a year forever. You're not gonna pay any more.
I think it was a 5-year plan.
No, it's a 5-year plan on the budget, but there's no way to raise it unless there's a vote. So you can lower it, but you can't raise it without a vote. So the 5-year plan is just to state that at 5 years, we got the majority of the projects covered. Until you move forward, then in year 6 and on, it's mainly roads getting taken care of. But let's put it into perspective, $1,800 a year compared to what you were paying, what, $600 you said? $1,000? 13 years of no assessments, you would probably be at $1,800 if this subdivision was managed properly
But I
going
would be
forward.
at 1,800 for everybody else in here.
Well, should I have to pay $1,800? I got one lot.
When you made the plan, you came up
Well, I'm
with-
just saying, not everybody's equal. It's, the more you got, the more you pay. And I mean, nobody has really brought anything else to us, and we had to come up with this from comments and information we got from the town halls and the board meetings. To my knowledge, nobody has complained about having many lots that pay more. It was people that had one lot that had to pay as much as them.
Yes, because only 37 of us are involved in this.
This is not, it's just going on the ballot. The community still has to vote. If the community votes it in, then
But I have to say that it's not fair to those 37 people to put us in a class by ourselves.
well, in the other almost 2,000 owners here have said
How many
loudly.
people did you have vote in the last election? Less than 300.
Right.
If you don't have a majority vote, we don't have a prayer of not just passing.
That is true, but I was gonna say the opposite of what you're saying, the feedback we got. For the almost 2,000 owners that own 1 or 2 lots, they were very vocal that it's not fair that they're paying the same amount of money that somebody who owns 3, 4, 5, 6 lots.
My opinion is not as worthy as theirs, because I don't think it's fair that the 37 people are paying more.
It's just as fair, and that's why we're listening
At the
to you.
last meeting, I said, you need to come up with a half a median where everybody pays the same.
And that was shot down blatantly. But let me just say,
Shot
I mean,
down by who?
the people that didn't want to pay $150 a month.
It hasn't been voted on.
We didn't vote on it, but they took surveys in these meetings they had, and people raised their hands and put things on boards of what they liked and what they didn't like.
I
And
was at the meeting.
They tallied the answers off of the sheets that people filled out, and one of the biggest responses was, I'm not paying $50 or $100 or $150 for one lot when somebody else owns 6 or 8 lots or 10 lots, or the forest as well. They own more property, so their rates are up. But $1.6 million of the assessments comes from 2 groups of people, the homes with up to 2 lots and people that own up to 2 lots. $66,000 come from 37 people like yourself.
That's irrelevant. I mean, what's the difference? Everybody should be paying the same. That's why we're one community.
Well, let's just put that in perspective for a second.
All right.
Hang on a second, there's 2,214 possible building properties. Times 150 a month, times 12, would be $4 million a year. That we feel like is egregious and unfair to everybody, more than just 37 people. So I don't think we can charge everybody $150. We're lucky to get $50 from people that own a lot.
I said that when you first announced this plan, that your $150 was excessive, and you need to find a happy median so everybody pays the same. And now you come back to this tier system, and it's not fair to certain minorities here.
Oh, wait a minute, Dave, I'm paying triple the amount based on the new.
So am I.
And he's not paying triple.
No.
No.
I agree.
So he's getting by with
$300
more than what we are, okay, all right.
I charge my own dumb self more than I should have.
But we all do the same thing.
Betsy Betsy, sorry.
Oh, sorry. See you behind you, Betsy. I apologize.
I just wanted a clarification of the all-in, because I believe when you said it, you said that for people that had lots with no residents, excluding Raintree Forest, and you gave the amounts, 3 amounts, but you never said what it would be for a lot without a house in Raintree Forest.
Thought it did 100. But remember the county deed name, if you have a house and a lot, both with the county deed name, you're just gonna, it's 150.
I understand that, I just was concerned because you didn't mention that.
I was wondering
Hang on 1
if,
second. You didn't,
Betsy was saying I did, she didn't think I mentioned what a Raintree Forest lot without a residence price was.
Because I was like, wait, what is it for a house with a lot with a adjoined one?
100.
That's, okay.
Unless you're a Raintree Forest. That's 150.
Go ahead.
now?
Yes.
Okay. I was wondering if I could ask the people of the board that voted no or abstained from the management company, if they can explain to us why they voted no or abstained from it?
Well, I didn't have enough information, to be honest with you. We got notice of that meeting on June 5th, about a week before. All the information that was handed out that day. Are you saying this is on the website like this, or are you talking about the video?
I don't know. No,
Because
it's
I
like-
see this on the web video, I see the
I'm
video.
looking at it right now, I just clicked on it.
Okay, because we didn't get any of this information until the same night.
We didn't have it the same night.
You did,
We had
you
the vote.
reluctantly didn't have any handouts for the people that were here either. So we saw a bunch of numbers on the screen the same time everybody else
Right.
did. But, you know, that was just numbers on the screen. We didn't have it in front of us to look at. We didn't have a chance to analyze it. And then the closed board meeting we had tonight, we got notice of Friday at 7:03. So, you know,
How long do you have to have before a closed board meeting?
well, I'd like to talk to some of these companies myself, to be honest with you. I'd like to talk to some of the communities they represent to see how big they are, to see what kind of other costs might be associated with it. Because in my opinion, I'm in property management, now it's commercial, but nonetheless, when it comes to snow removal and things like that, those are contingencies you have to be ready for. And there's other unassociated costs that I don't know about, and I would like to find out more. So, yeah, I think we should have more time. I'd at least like to see the assessment pass first, and then have it thoroughly vetted through town halls, have these property management companies present their, you know, their sales, what they want to try to do. I mean, sure, it's easy to try to push the things, but it'd be nice to have the whole community involved, to ask these property management companies, and have more than 2 or 3. I mean, I know Tamlin has several, you know, that were different things. So, yeah, I would just like to have more time to vet this out. Granted, I've only been on the board for a month, but I've been to every town hall, I've been to almost every meeting, and the only time there's discussion of property management was in passing. As far as it being vetted thoroughly, none 4 people on the board had been thoroughly looking into it. The rest of us just kind of had it dropped on us. So that's my opinion.
Anybody else want to? talk?
Sure, yeah, no problem at all.
Hi, Danny.
Okay, I listed many things that the current office staff and maintenance crew do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and now let's see how that's being addressed.
Okay.
In addition to that, we have an informational booklet on this company, but I want to see a contract.
Okay.
And if you want to call it a contract, I don't call it a contract.
Okay,
so.
okay. And Desiree, do you mind?
Me personally, I still had a lot more questions. I was really interested in listening to some of Tanlin's ideas because I thought there was going to be a meeting with her at some point. For me, it sounded like some of the numbers weren't going to add up because we're supposed to be saving the 200,000, but we also have to. The management company is primarily office-based. So with that cost aside, you still have to look at the maintenance aspect of it and what we're supposed to be using to offset those costs. I mean, is that coming from the 200,000 or was it just something that was completely different? So for me, I still had a lot of questions. So I didn't know which way to go with it either way.
Okay, thank you for clarifying, Lee.
I think, Tom, you had your hand up.
Yeah. How long will the contract be with the management company?
We haven't decided yet, but we're looking for 3 years.
Okay. When do you think it might start.
Once we call them and when the management company will start. I don't know, they want a 90-day transition period, so we would look to probably make that call this week or next and get them on board, and then once they give us a date when they're comfortable, then we'll do, 90 days from there.
So I did my best, I couldn't make the meeting, I did my best to go through the video, and I got the impression that maintenance was included in those savings.
It is, but not with that company.
That's not what I heard.
We,
Now I see here, maintenance bids sought separately.
right,
So, I mean, the expensive maintenance has not been looked at, I mean, for what it's gonna take to contract that out.
yeah, we got the bids on that. That was on the website as well. 1L and Precision both gave us bids. We also asked a bid from Baker, and they chose not to respond, even though we talked to them 2 or 3 times. And
And that
actually
included what?
came out to do the lawn care, landscaping, fertilizing, and up to 3 snow plows a year.
Oh, that's not enough. Okay, all right. I'm sorry, one other question, Glenn. On security, who's looking into the infractions at the gates?
As of now,
Yeah.
that would be Tammy with your incident reports.
Well, because there was a stack of them.
Okay. And I did go in there 2 days ago
And
and
there's a time limit
reiterate
on
the
those.
importance of that. And
You
at
know there's
least,
a time limit on those, right, with the video?
okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
How much is this company, this Smith, tell me if I'm right. I thought I heard you say $2,400 a month. That, and then another $40,000 for an employee?
Right.
Is that employee gonna work full-time?
Yes.
So, that employee will make $40,000, or they're gonna, I mean, doesn't this company want to make a little something off that? don't they?
That's not my problem.
Okay, so they'll be in there 40 hours a week?
It could be up to 40 hours a week, but yeah, it could be part-time, it could be staggered hours.
You know, it seems awfully inexpensive, doesn't it? I mean, for all this work that they're gonna do?
Well,
I mean.
I don't know if, what we're getting out of it is we're paying $11,000 for a tax return to do that externally, separately. They do it in-house for $300. City and Village goes away at $11,000, which they do that internally. Rever goes away for $4,000, which they have their own document storage company.
Well, I mean, it sounds like a good deal for us.
Hang
But
on.
I'm just wondering, I'm
What's the
questioning whether
catch?
they can do all of this work for that price.
Because they have, how many communities did they say?
And then that means, are we gonna be first, second, third, or last when we want to do this stuff? We're not gonna be at the top of the
The
list.
story that we heard from CPN is that when they came to meet with folks like this at the first election, they got booed. When they showed up at the second election, they got a standing ovation.
But they didn't come and talk to us.
So, but what about
I mean, at the board
Smith?
meeting,
I mean, who has recommended Smith to us? Do you know any other?
they did come recommended until he gave us the name.
A friend of mine, they used them for collections, for their assessments and their payables. And she said it was a godsend, but it's a smaller community. What we have to do is we have to get a different mindset, because I think a lot of people think, how can you do $28,000 and have what we have there? We're not gonna have 3 people in the office. Most of the things that we will be doing as a community will be online. So when you, like doing our stickers, we've started that, we'll do that. If you need a request for something to be done, it'll be online rather than you having to come into the office. Now, we are under the impression that it's one of the best things to transition is to have at least one person in the office to hand out the stickers and whatever other personable things that we need to have. But having the 3 people and doing all those things, a lot, Smith has their own employees that they pay to do that. So the mindset's got to be just a little bit different in the sense that it's not comparing what we have now. It's kind of trying to streamline everything so you can do whatever you need to do whenever you want, 12 o'clock at night when you're sitting up having ice cream with your puppy dog.
Well, I mean, if we can get all of that work.
Well, the professional accountant, bookkeeper, things like that are priceless for that.
It's a fantastic deal for us if they can get it on.
I will tell you that CPM and Smith were very competitive on their financial package, which means everything what I just said and then some. If you keep the employees full-time or with them, CPM wanted to do it anywhere from $150,000 to $223,000. And I think Smith was the one employee to do the transition and then become their employee. But what a lot of people don't think about is all the stuff that comes with an employee, the taxes, the workers' comp, the insurance, the paid time off, the sick days, you know,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not questioning that, it's just that, like, for instance, the phone calls. I mean, sometimes the phone calls are just, you know, that might be like all they do. There is times like that. So it might be, I think it may be difficult for one person to be able to handle all this.
Won't that go through the property management company?
Yeah, most of that is gonna either be online or a chat system to their portal or a phone call to them or an email.
Well, we'll see, it depends on our, you know, the service they can give us and if the people are happy enough with it.
Well, the biggest thing, Dottie, is getting professionals to do the intricate work like QuickBooks and the document storage and tax returns. That, to me, even if there wasn't a cost savings, to me, that's priceless. Linda?
I don't know that I'm addressing the money aspect of it. One of the things that we've talked about, Mike and I have, and I've brought it up at board meetings before, is I feel like we have lack of, I call it continuity. And I put a little paragraph together and sent it to all of you guys today. You know, the perfect example is the rinse station. You know, that was apparently on the wish list for years, even before we got here. And then we had no money. But last year we got the money, you know, and it's still not in. And not by anybody's fault that they haven't done it, but because of the resignations on the board, the project gets handed off to the next person who then has to start it all over again, and then again and again. And that's a small example. I don't even know some bigger ones, but that's, not that I care that much about a rinse station, quite honestly, because I'm fine, but I know it's one minor thing that's taken, like, are you kidding? It's taken over a year to get a rinse station in. And so again, there might be bigger projects that have taken longer as well. My point being that maybe then, you know, the board isn't worried about all those other things that you guys are talking about. It offloads you, and so now you can do things, and people, in my opinion, there are, and maybe you guys don't know this, and I didn't know this, but in our 6 years that we've lived here, there have been 18 resignations from the board in 6 years. That's an average of 3 per year. These are people that are resigned. I'm sure there's lots of reasons why they do, but some of them aren't because of health or moving. It's because I think it's too much for them. You know, they didn't move to Raintree to have a political, this kind of thing. Facebook, social media does not help. We heard that in the April town hall when the realtors did their presentation. They said, our reputation is not the best, and a lot of it's because of all the negative comments on social media. So a lot of people, you know, are, well, anyway, so the thought would be that there might be more people that would run on the board, qualified people to do the things that need to be done if they're not getting arrow shot on social media, targeted all the time, bashed, and the job's easier. And then was talking to someone that's lived here for quite a while, and he said the board used to serve your full terms. You know, this wasn't an ongoing revolving door for all this time. It seems to be, yeah, I don't know. But, and I'm sure part of it is social media, who's constantly bashing the board. I personally have been asked, why don't you run for the board? Honestly, my skin is not tough enough, you know, to be shot at all the time. And kudos to you for all doing it, because a lot of us wouldn't do it.
Because I read your letter to the board here, and actually, if it's, Wendy, can I ask you a question? Actually, a couple questions. Because on this, there was a statement made here. Let's see, I take it that, Mike, you was at the office on June 14th, that was last Friday?
Yep.
And when someone came in to pick up their stickers, they had ordered through River. So I take it the person at the window was there to pick up their stickers that they ordered through River. And then I guess you overheard Wendy telling them that River process takes at least a week due to the need for the girl that has to go through tons of emails to identify the River request, complete them, and then Wendy helped them manually taking all their information. And luckily he had most of it with him and gave him the stickers. And then it states here, you don't know if she entered into River or if now someone else will try to issue a second set of stickers.
Right.
So you're speculating that, I mean, I don't know, I'm just trying to
If she
find
did it, yeah, if she did it manually, did she put it in River then?
The
So that
owner
it's
is gonna go through the
updated?
process twice because the office staff isn't following the process and all owners. So Wendy, I just wanted to ask, what is the process for somebody who comes in?
Well, what Mike Camden didn't hear was all the details of that transaction at the window. He was sitting out here. And it was Saturday, Haley was off. When somebody puts something in River, then the next day usually Haley gets on her computer and she has to go through every document that's been uploaded. And when they upload, they don't say Mike Camden's auto insurance. They say Doc and a bunch of numbers. So you don't know who they belong to. So you have to go through and name each one of them. So then she has to make sure they're correct. Are they expired? If they're expired, then she has to email them and say this is not the right document. So this takes time to do. And then we have to fill out all of their online forms for them also, because they didn't do that. All they did was upload their things. Doesn't happen as soon as they click a button on it. We have all these steps, many steps to go through. So when Haley does that, but on Friday, at the end of the day, everything was done. There's a little box in there, and everything is alphabetized. So I don't remember who the person was that came and picked stickers up that you overheard.
I don't know.
But
Didn't you do
his
Friday?
stickers were not
It was
ready.
Friday.
It was
They were
Friday.
not in the box.
It was Friday.
So that means that he uploaded either from his house before he left or the parking lot before he walked in the door. It does not happen that quickly. So it takes several days. So if I tell someone, you know, I'll have it ready in a couple days and it takes a week, then they're on social media bashing us. If I tell them it could take a week and they get it in 2 days, then they're happy. So that's the steps to do that. They still have to come in here regardless. And take a
So you mean
picture.
if they set out in the
So
parking
Haley
lot
is the
and
only one that
they
can
try
do
to
that?
set it up online,
Haley is the
and
only
then they
one?
come in and they expect to get their sticker, that's very unlikely to occur.
It's not gonna happen.
So
It doesn't happen instantaneously.
well, there's another thing here. It said in 2022, before City and Village, our $500 assessment check took 6 weeks to be deposited. We heard it was due to a daily limit of checks. Well, there was 2022. I believe the skilled office manager would, what's this other part in the in the social media thread. So this is something you must have read online, where City and Village was being bashed for us not receiving this year's assessment invoice in May. Linda shared a 2022 experience check. Recently, another owner, Mark Hopkins, I guess he's on Facebook, is that the one that posted on Facebook, that posted that in April 2024 check for stickers still hadn't been deposited according to his bank. It seems like timely check deposits. Wendy, why would it take
In
so long?
2022, 2 people left. I'm the only one who stayed to keep the office open. So we had some people in here to work. We convinced them to come back and train. So when Haley was being taught how to make deposits, she was told that she could only deposit 50 checks a day. We have a check machine in there. It just sucks the checks through. The checks never leave this building. They do not go out of the building to the bank.
So if there's a pile of checks in there, as I've heard the rumors, there was
Yes.
piles of checks in
Those are
there.
deposited. There's a stack of checks stapled to a piece of paper that somebody sees and thinks it's a stack of checks. It doesn't mean that no one asks. No one bothers to ask. That's already been deposited. Well, recently, our check machine was broken for like 3 weeks, and finally Tilly went and got us a new one. And then we have internet issues, which Don Urban has been very nice about helping us with that. So the phones are internet, the phones aren't working, when we have no internet, we don't know that you're calling us. And the check machine doesn't, nothing, you can't do anything. You can't
So the
use
check,
Trevor.
I'm sorry, just let me understand. So you take the check and you run it through the machine, and that's how it gets deposited?
Mhm.
So as of April, when this person is still waiting for his check to clear, you're saying that machine is broke?
Well, the machine was down, was broke, well, we have a new machine, the old machine's gone, it was broken for
Okay.
3 weeks.
What happened was, I was in the office, and Haley was showing me how it goes through the scanner. And what would happen that she would have like 20 checks, and it would take the first 3 or 4, and then it would take 5 at a time, so she'd have to redo it. And it was so frustrating. I said, well, Haley, how long has this been happening? And she said, ever since I've been working here. I said, what? I said, where do we get it from? From the bank. I said, who do we call at the bank? Is it free? Is there a cost to it? I don't know. Give me the phone number. I called the bank. I told them which one it was. They said, no, there's no cost to it. You can get it. We'll have to order it. Within 5 days, she had it. And then we had a little internet issue when she got it. But it wasn't working properly for as long as Haley had been there.
So it was never turned over by the office manager to do something about that?
Not until Haley said something to
There's your
me.
answer.
So Haley said, no, it's not working. I said, well, let's call and we got it for free, and we got a new one, and it works fine. But in 2022, I wasn't around. That was way before me.
And may I clarify, since you're bringing it up, what happened to me in 2022, just so we're not confused between 2 years ago and this recent thing, is the check didn't clear. I called, the office answered, and they said, yep, it's sitting here, because I was concerned it got lost. And she said, with a whole bunch of other checks sitting here. I'm like, what's the problem? We are limited to, and I don't know how many numbers she said.
She just
this
said
many,
50.
50? I don't know if that's what I told them, but anyway, we were limited to only doing this many a day, and I'm like, okay, can't you like go to the bank? Because I've taken a lot of checks with my business, and I go deposit them, and she didn't have an answer for that. And later, I think it was reported at a board meeting, what the dollar amount of that stack of checks was sitting from 2 years ago. And to me, that's a process issue, and I feel like, honestly, anyone should have identified, what are we doing with all this money sitting here? The thing's not working, are we limited? Pick up the phone, call the bank, get the right process, or yeah, this is how we do life. Okay, we're changing banks, or I'm gonna drive up and deposit all the checks. That's what I would do. And that's what I brought out, as to me, it seemed like an easy fix if someone would have looked into it.
John Urban.
Okay, so I gotta present this to you guys. I respect that whole table up there, and I respect every one of you personally.
That's always scary to start like that.
I'm sorry, it is. It is. Personally and professionally, I respect you guys, okay? I think what just took place for the last 15, maybe 20 minutes right now is the exact reason for a management company. Because we need a professional in here to coincide in between, liaison between the board and the office and us, the people. Now, how you're presenting it, again, I respect you guys. How you're presenting it, I think right now, and I got voted in tonight apparently, I'm sorry I was late. I think that's really some maybe possibly rotten timing. I think, we got 3 months away from a September board meeting, that there's 5 people on that table. that could be here or not be here? And what does that mean for us, the community itself? Maybe you did make the best decision right now. Maybe you got the right company in place. But what if those 5 new members have a different idea? Why can't this just wait for 90 more days? If you contract with them and say, after our September meeting, you contract maybe with Tom, you negotiate something and say, Tom, will you stay on till January 1st? Would that work? Here's the deal. We'll give you whatever between September and December. So now you got the maintenance guy here at least, right? You work with the office and work with them for that extra little time. And then after the September meeting, when there's 9 people up there, they say, this was voted in, do we still agree with this, and are we still in alignment with this? And they'll go forward with it. Now, I've listened kind of a little bit too long to Tantalin the other day, but I listened to her, and she had some good points, but I think it's too little too late, and I think you guys have done the research, you don't need to re-research. But maybe the new board thinks differently, and maybe there's not a new board. Maybe all 9 of you are still here. Great. I appreciate that, because I still respect all 90. You're gonna be here. Do your job, make it work. But I think at this time right now, 90 days before possible big change all about this place, could make a big difference. To address a few things that were here, because I am on technology, I am the internet guy here, or who's supposed to be running this, and yes, the office did have multiple days, about 10 days, that there were internet issues here. And that was a thing that I tested with, and I should have been on top of it a little bit more, but after we figured it out, it's all been smooth since then. And when it comes to whether there's a good internet here, right now, you're not going to get any better until that management company comes in and they say, these are the options we have. Yeah, and by the way, yes, the management company is probably going to take my company out of here. My company does run or supports the IT infrastructure. That company may come in and say, you're out of here. I'm okay with that. It's what's best for the community at this point. Thank you.
So to answer one of your questions, John, this hasn't just happened, and we're not just shoving it in 90 days. We were this close from pulling the trigger last year, a year ago, over a year ago, and somebody got bashed on social media and cashed it in and said, hell with it, I'm done. So then we kind of fell apart from trying to continue with it. So it was constantly on our minds, talking to people, researching, and then we came up to it again. We had a meeting at Tetros, the 4 officers. We wrote everything down that we needed to do. Bing, bang, boom, we're ready to go. Got bashed on social media, said I'm done. Bring in another person. Have a meeting at John's basement, the 4 of us, 4 different of us. We get it all, basically the same thing on paper for the 3rd time in a row. This is way too much, I want to enjoy my retirement, I'm gone. And I will tell you, anybody tells me to extend my retirement, I'll beat the hell out of them.
If I could just answer one thing real
But
quick.
I just want to say, this isn't just something that we rush through, believe me.
I know that, and I've
And we-
seen your meetings. I'm close enough to both of you with everybody in between. I know those meetings, I know how much time you put into this, and I know how aggravating it's been for you. And like I said, I do know you guys personally, and I understand how much grief it's been giving you and everything. So if anybody out here does not realize how much those 4 particularly put into this, they did. And I'm hoping the other 5 also had some part in it. And I hope there was good discussion.
Can we change our neighbors?
If I could just.
Yeah,
say
that's okay with me,
something.
Dave. I want you to go.
If I just, Dottie, stick your head up. So, these 3 management companies, and one of them I'm gonna give you is their price from 2 years ago. As to whether they can do it or not. CPM, and I'm taking just their management fee out, not employees. CPM is $2,000 a month. 2 years ago, DNI was $1,900 a month. And Smith is $2,400 a month. One of the reasons we chose Smith was we felt Smith was, and presented Smith was they offer more than these other two companies did. So to give us some level of, can they do what they say they're doing? And they all pretty much do the same thing. If you looked at the sheet we distributed earlier, there's a few things that CPM doesn't do that DNI does, or not, Smith does. But they all are compacted in about the same price range. So it's not like one of these is some low ball to no tomorrow that, you know, oh, they don't even jive to their competitors' bids from it, that, you know, to give us some thought that, you know, yeah, they're gonna live up and do what they can do. And you know what, like anything else we do here, you know what, we do the best that we can, you know, plan that it's gonna work. Sometimes stuff works and sometimes it doesn't. You know what, if it doesn't work, we regroup and figure out what the right thing to do is given at that point in time. But, you know, right here and now, this is what the board felt was the best thing for Range Train.
Yes, sir.
So maybe I misunderstood, but I thought we were going to do a town hall about this whole management company with some like real, I think there's a lot of people who'd like to see more detail.
Town
Is that
hall we
what-
talked about.
Linda's gonna try to have at least 2 of them.
But that's the ballot
Ballot
item,
item.
not the management company. The management company savings is part of the financial analysis to the ballot item that came up with the assessment levels, but it isn't the discussion of the management.
It just seems like a very big item here, and I think there's just a lot of questions that people would like to have answered. More details.
Well, we will have details of what is offered by Smith, all the, like, what is it, Town Square?
Town Square is
Portal,
their portal
their
software.
portal and what that can do for you and all the things that would be included in that 2,400. We will have that, I don't have it posted because nothing was approved or anything, but I'll get that all up on the website
Yeah,
for you to
there's-
be able to, and it'll be under, yeah. Would it be under,
They would just put a
border,
ballot, they would just put a
Ballot
ballot
item
section on there.
ballot item section?
But to his point, this was just introduced a couple of weeks ago about going to this project management company, a project management.
Property
com-
management.
Property management, thank you, company. And so there are questions. And so certainly there should be, I would suggest that we do a town hall that answers those questions once you guys get further into it, because it sounds like you don't even know exactly how it's gonna work for, well, I shouldn't
It's
say
already
that.
been approved.
Yeah, but you can't sit there and explain it, well, I shouldn't say that. You probably could, but we're not asking questions, what does this mean? What does this mean? What's this gonna look like to me, right? Which I think some of that we can figure out, but some of it we can't. And it seems like a good discussion about it so that we understand what we're gonna experience can come about when you all are ready to go deep on the features.
The one thing I can say, we can do that. The one thing I will say to that about the property management, property management.
You're right.
Is going back to DNI when we interviewed them, all 3 of them basically provide the same package of cutting out the finances, assuming the responsibilities, doing the tax returns. Everything like that was included in all of them. Now, do some of them use different software, and different portals, and different websites, and different hosting companies? Sure, but at the end of the day, we gotta have somebody doing the intricate, detailed, critical information. I mean, QuickBooks isn't something you just hand over to somebody and say, hey, here's QuickBooks for $1 million worth of a subdivision with 800 homes and 1,600 lots. I need you to be able to do this. It just don't happen.
Right, and I guess what I'm trying to say is while it's voted in, that's not the end of the discussion.
Right, no.
Anyone can ask questions, we can go, what does this mean? How does that play out to me? Don't we already do that? No, we've never had that feature before. Oh, cool, that's an add-on. For those of us that live out there and don't know how everything runs, right? we should have the opportunity to go, well, this is cool, what's this mean?
I'll get to you in a sec, Mike. One thing that CPM did say to us when we sat through their interview process is they didn't know what Rever was, but they said two things. We have a similar type of product, but if you guys like Rever and we can implement it, we'll bring it in. So that's similar to what Tantalin is saying, that you piecemeal some of the software, but it's run by a management company versus us.
Right.
Mike?
Somebody mentioned it earlier, if we're gonna have a town hall, it'd be great to have somebody from Smith come in and present and show us what they do, how they do it, give a real demonstration.
John, yeah, we spent about, what did we spend? The 1 o'clock meeting, I think I didn't get out of the office till about 4.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anybody? Yes?
So I didn't have time to watch the whole meeting, but I did look at the handout, and it looks like on the handout, like the things that you're saving, a lot of it does pertain to maintenance, is that correct?
So the savings of the 200,000 plus is combined with Smith Savings doing the office management and a third-party maintenance company doing the maintenance, like the one we want to choose, but we haven't yet because we want to sit down with Tom and go over some of the intricacies and see if there's some things that we need to trade off and take here and take there, is 1L. So 1L and Precision gave us a bid. Like I said earlier, Precision was higher on the snow removal and 1L was lower, and they were higher. I don't know how it panned out, but one was higher on the snow and one was higher on the grass cutting. And 1L said, I'll match the price and be the lowest overall if I can get a 2-year contract. So we are just at the entry level of doing that right now. But we want to definitely bring Tom in and get his opinion on it. I don't know if you have a relationship with 1L or anything like that, but we felt like him, one, being a property owner here, and two, already in here cutting many people's yards, that would be a no-brainer.
So, and that's grass cutting and snow removal?
Grass cutting, snow removal, and some of the odds and ends things around the office and maybe down at the beach and whatnot. I will say, he wants to purchase the equipment if we want to sell it. He also will interview any of Tom's guys if they want a job.
Okay, all right. I just know there's a lot more than just grass cutting and snow removal, so, like, it threw me off that there were savings from the maintenance, but yet you haven't even pulled the maintenance piece into it, so it was a little.
Yeah, the maintenance was completely a separate quote from 1L and Precision. And that's one of the things why we'll drag Tom into it when we get to that point. But I think the cool thing from them is they would like to interview, and if you can keep the same guys doing the same work, just basically switches your W-2 from one company to the other.
Okay, thank you.
And he also wants to use possibly the, what was it, they wanted to rent the, where they keep the salt at, so that's another trade-off maybe we can gain by letting them do that. So it's, that part of it's still up in the air. We just got the hard numbers for the main, big, large tasks, but yeah, there's a bunch of other things that need to be discussed and gone over with them and see what they'll do and see what they'll charge. I mean, I'm not swearing to you what they're gonna come up with, because it wasn't part of our initial diagram with the management company, but, you know.
Well, I mean, you say little odds and ends, but the keeping of the ditches and the culvert pipes and all those things are very hard work and very expensive work, and, you know, so it's not like little odds and ends.
Well, I'm not, maybe not little odds and ends, but it's piecemeal stuff that fits in between the larger projects.
Right.
Not that it doesn't need to be done.
Right.
Anybody else got any questions?
Forrest, are you running?
All right.
Forrest,
Good
run!
night.
Sorry, Forrest. I'm so sorry. I don't blame you one bit. You gotta listen to more of this, don't you, Forrest?
Confidentiality.